Hello friends, I know it's been over a month, life got busy and I've been wanting to post a video about some of my plugins, but I haven't had time, so I apologize for that. But today I want to talk about UVI's Ravenscroft 275 Grand Piano plugin. This is one of my favorites. Actually, it is my favorite. I used to own, or I used to use, I still own it, Ivory, or Synthagy's Ivory 2 Grand Pianos, which has the Yamaha C7, I believe, and the Steinway German Grand Piano and Bosendorfer. I liked it when it came out, but it had some things that frustrated me about it. But I'm not going to talk so much about that as I'm going to talk about the Ravenscroft. So I'll let you hear it before I continue any further. So it's a fun piano to play. Here, I'm going to take off some of that reverb so it could have more of a dry sound. Okay. Now, what I like about this is that this engine causes it to load really quickly, all these samples, and it doesn't take that much of your RAM. 303 megabytes is not that much for something this detailed with this many features. Now you could load it up to, I think it's a gig, close to a gig of RAM. If you use a different mic settings, like right now I just have the close mic settings, which honestly I prefer to leave it like that, because when you start adding these, the room mic, the side mic, and the player mic, it sounds like you start getting phasing issues. I'll give you an example. I don't hear it right there, but earlier I kind of heard it. Maybe it's just my imagination, but the close mic by itself sounds really full to me, and it stands out in the mix of the music. So I tend to lean toward that. Plus, I like saving RAM. I don't like using this much, but I'm going to take those off right now. Okay. One thing that I absolutely love about this, and it's also in the Ivory, but this one just sounds a little more natural, is the pedal noise. If you hear a recording of a piano, you'll probably know, or you could probably tell if it's a real piano or a sampled piano by whether you can hear the pedal, and it's this fuff sound that you'd want to look for. Let me know if try to hear this. So I'm pressing the sustain pedal right now. That was the car passing by. You can barely hear it right now, but if I raise the volume of this, it becomes a lot easier to hear. Sort of like the piano's breathing. I'll leave that about right here. And another thing I like is to hear the key noise. I think it gives it a woodier sound. Another cool thing is the release volume. This is something I had never even thought of, but when you're letting go of a key on the piano very slowly, the felt from the sustain hits the keys and it starts dampening that sound. It's very, very quick, but let's see if you could hear it. I'll do it without first. And then with it on. sort of those harmonics that kind of try to attach to the note, or they try to stick around at the end of the note. I just love that. It makes it sound a lot more natural. Another thing that this features is a tone wheel that I think you can find this in a lot of different pianos. It's just basically an EQ. This is more bright, this is darker. You lose some of the detail though when you go darker. Going to the right gives it a more nasally sound, which I really don't like either. So I typically don't mess with this part right here. If I want a different tone in the piano, I'll just get a different plugin. This is a cool feature right here, Una Corda, which is basically your soft pedal. I have it set to CC1 right here, which is my mod wheel, because I don't have another pedal or an expression pedal or anything to use that. So I'm going to slide my mod wheel all the way up, and it's going to access that sound. I'm going to compare them back to back, that way you could hear the difference, but this is a soft pedal. This is something I felt like had been missing in many piano plugins, at least to this level of realism, and it just sounds very intimate. All right, I'm going to take it off of the Una Corda. So the soft articulation and pianissimo piano on Una Corda is something very useful in this plugin. But another thing that I love about it is the fortissimos, or the fortes, that other piano plugins suffer from. I used Ivory grand pianos, especially the Yamaha C7 and the German Steinway, for years, and the thing that frustrated me about them was that when you striked it hard, it didn't feel like a true piano would respond. It didn't have that ring to it. It sounded at best like a mezzo forte plus or something, but definitely not a forte or fortissimo. And I'll play this one here for you. I'll play it softly and then go loud. Sorry, I messed up right there, but... All right, on this side, I'm just going to talk about things that I use, but the sympathetic resonance is always something that I think is pretty awesome. If you've tried this on the real piano, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to hold down the low C key right here. Sorry. And then I'm going to pound some of the C's over here. And you'll hear the harmonics just kind of ringing. This is something that you'll find on a Rogue piano. And now I'm going to let it go and try to do that same thing. All right, over here we just have the reverb. This is nothing special, but I like using this, especially when I'm going to be using the una corda and playing something very intimate, maybe cinematic. I think it's very inspiring. And I'm sure if you played it and you felt the response that this has, you would love it too, and you'd be very inspired to create something cinematic or very emotional. Ripeto, let me see what else it has. Oh yeah, if you have a keyboard that isn't very sensitive or doesn't have a very linear velocity level, meaning if you play it soft, it sounds soft. If you play it medium, it sounds medium. Or if you play it hard, it sounds hard or loud. I've encountered a lot of keyboards like that, some very cheap ones that there's a very thin line between soft and loud. This can help you out right here. Or if you're playing on a weighted keyboard and it's tiring for you. I'm barely even pressing that right now. This is going to be a lot softer. And then tuning, which I never use, but it's still cool to have there. So here are some other features that you could use. Sostenuto. Now this is something that very few pianists use nowadays, but it's still cool. Cool feature to have. Muted strikes. I think that means that you. It's like when you put your hand over the piano strings, which I don't recommend, and it causes that muted sound. It's pretty cool. Let me see if I can move this and load it. For some reason it doesn't want to do. Almost reminds me of a prepared piano. So that was a Ravenscroft 275. I know this thing has a ton of more features. I think it costs $199 It was definitely worth it. It's a lot more responsive, I think, than the Ivory Grand 2, Steinway, or Yamaha. I know they have different tones to them, but the feel, as soon as you put your fingers on the keys, it feels like it's following your velocity, your pressure, a lot more than Ivory's. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I know it was kind of I didn't have it scripted, and I'm just making this up as I go along. But I wanted to show this plugin to you if you're considering buying it. It's just very beautiful. So I'll see you next time.